Hey everybody, NC4XL, North Carolina for extreme lovers. I'm not, just Dom. Forgive me for being wore out. I've been going since 05:30 this morning. And it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, plus or minus a minute or two. But I wanted to share something that Mike KN4XP and I were talking about. And I've talked with a few of the other folks that have club calls. So here's what we're asking you to think about. Hunters, and hello, activators like me, myself, and I, or any of the activators we have on the Portable Operators Club November Charlie 4, POTA on, Portable Operator. Hunters and activators that have been with amateur radio for, let's just say, 4 years or less, have never gone through a cycle where the bands will use the term inhale. It takes a KW to get across the street sometimes because the band conditions, not because of solar events, but just because the band propagation is in a cycle of going downhill, and that's going to happen. So prepare for that. But what we're referring to, I'm an activator. You're an activator. We're out at the park. And we got 7 contacts. And we're not too worried about it. A half hour later goes by. We have 8 contacts. Now we're getting a little concerned. And see, hunters, you can do this from the house, and or activators that are members of additional clubs that authorize you. Now let's explain that. Your club authorizes you, allows you to use your club call as a contact for contesting or POTA or special events. But what we're saying is that you're okayed to use that call to share it because you're a member of that club. If you wouldn't mind considering making it a possible, and my club call is NC4 Papa Oscar or November Alpha 4 or Whiskey Delta or November Charlie 4, Hotel or K8BSR or November 4 Golf Alpha Sierra Whiskey 3 Delta Uniform Hotel, I think it is. Hotel Zulu 4 Romeo. There's several club calls that are out there that can assist, not the hunter, but assist the activator to take the stress of getting the required amount of contacts, which is 10, some of us like 12, some of us like 15, to make sure we don't fat finger things, contacts in the park. Now, Mike and I were talking, and one of the things about as an activator, your thought process is totally different than somebody sitting at home, because we know what we have to get in order to stay away from incomplete. I'm not going to use that word that begins with F, okay, because I don't like failure. But an incomplete activation, because there sometimes is an opportunity later in the day to go back and finish it. Okay, because you have a 24-hour UTC time if you have the time available where you're at. But for you hunters that are at home, and or you activators that are out activating, yes, it takes a few more seconds to say, hey, I have a second call. My club call, November Charlie 4, Papa Oscar. For those of you that know me now, you know that we are promoting our club and trying to build some of the levels up as any of us activators would build our opportunities of different achievements. But really, when we give ours, and I know many of you, if you will give yours, will be benefiting even when the bands start going down, to keep folks from having a incomplete activation. Even if you know they've got it complete, don't hesitate to give them that extra contact. That's what we're talking about. Just wanted to share it. I hope that it is not offensive in any way to anybody about having fun with Parks on the Air. And if you know 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people are all in a group together, and somebody says, my call NC4XL +2, AE4XO, and KE8 Papa Zulu November, even though they didn't respond right then and there, but you know that they are there and that they switch mics, operators in between the activations, so that you get to hear all of the activators making the contact. And for some of us that have been around a while, we feel comfortable and not deceptive in any way in doing that and sharing that type of contact. So, enough of my babbling on. You hunters, on the other side of this video, simply ask you to do this. Take your right hand, if you're able to, put it over the back of your shoulder or the front of your shoulder and tap yourself on the back. And I'm going to say, give yourself a pat on the back for what you do for us activators. We get to go out and play and all that kind of stuff. But if you folks weren't there, it'd be pretty boring sitting out there chasing the mosquitoes away instead of keying up the mic and talking around the world. 73s to each and every one of you. Remember, activators, a park to park is also a hunted contact. 73s, NC4XL, North Carolina for extreme lovers. And let's not forget our club call. Yes, I'm trying to remind people. November, Charlie 4. Papa Oscar, I call it POTA on, or portable operator, 73s.